This is Jeff and Jeff Talk Tech, episode 3. And we are live. What's happening, Jeff? How are you?
What's going on, buddy? What's up?
Oh, not much, not much. We had, we're learning, right? So, we had an episode. We started an episode. We lost said episode. And then my entire apartment fell down.
Yeah, the apocalypse came and went and came back, and
right, and not the X-Men crappy apocalypse, like the actual apocalypse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not
fire, brimstone, all that.
Right. Yeah. So that reminds me, I saw a funny YouTube video about the X-Men movie, the most recent X-Men movie. Did you see that? Did you get a chance to check that out?
No, I haven't checked it out. I want to watch
it. But you'll have to remind me after you do watch it, which I know you will eventually watch it. Once you do watch it, remind me and I'll send you that video because they rip the whole movie apart. They rip it to shreds, and they give you an idea why it was actually so crappy,
Nice.
Which I watched it, the first time. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't watch it twice, but it's pretty good. And then when you see something like that, it's like, oh gosh, it was terrible. I didn't realize how terrible it was until, somebody made this parody of it. Now I realize how terrible it really was. So yeah, what do we got today? That's not Apple. That's nothing.
It has been a slow tech news week. So we digged into the vacuum that Apple sucked out of the room, and I put together a list. We put together a list of topics that we think you guys may like. Hey, listen, we've been looking forward to this all week, but we had nothing to talk about. So that's all.
Yeah. So basically, looking forward to talking about something we didn't really have the subject of what that something would be.
Right. Exactly.
One of the biggest news of the week, which was it was kind of drowned out by the whole Apple, the whole Apple launch event and all the hype that surrounds that. But one of the big things was the Samsung. Samsung, basically phone catching fire.
Yeah, just burst into flames. Yeah.
If anything's going to take the focus off Apple, it is a phone catching fire.
Of course.
That will do it every time.
That'll do it every time. Hey, listen, you don't want Apple to dominate the news cycle? Just set your phone on fire. Just
set your phone on fire. We'll take back what we got,
Right. Yeah. So can you go back in time? Can you set up the whole thing? For those who don't know, who've been living under a rock, can you take them through?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the Galaxy Note, which is Samsung's flagship. I guess it's, it was initially the Galaxy, and now it's switched over to the Galaxy Note. It's the phone with the pen that ejects, and the big Galaxy phone gate was the pen didn't eject anymore. If you remember from the first Galaxy Note, and now they've figured that all out. So they've got a pen that actually ejects. Unfortunately, the phone just catches fire, bursts into flames. This is the newest. What is this? The Note 2 or the Note 3? It's one of the.
The newest Note now. No, it's 7. It's 7. So
7 now.
They skipped the 6. It was Note 5 and then 7.
Okay.
They skipped the 6. So, but yeah, it catches on fire, and from accounts, there's only been 36 phones that have out of 2 million. So that's a low number, but they have officially recalled it, but they haven't recalled it through the government. I don't think yet. They just said, hey, bring the phones back. Samsung has said, but they haven't went to the United States government and said we have done an official recall, which would make the phone illegal to sell in the United States, which is not. But
okay,
right.
So the one thing and let's just preface this by saying that this could happen to any manufacturer, and I'm really surprised that it hasn't happened to multiple manufacturers already.
Lithium polymer and lithium-ion batteries that chemical is very volatile, and it has the potential of blowing up at any time. So this should be a warning to everybody. Your laptop, don't just leave your laptop out in the sun. just because you think it's just this thing. Don't. I mean, obviously, don't poke a hole in it. Don't step on it. Just you're holding a bomb in your hand with your phone and everything. What would you do if you had a bomb in your hand the whole time? It just so happens there are safeguards to prevent people from blowing up or prevent items from catching on fire and blowing up. But those safeguards could fail.
Right.
So be careful. That's the main thing. Not just with Samsung phones, with any phone, any lithium polymer battery or anything like that.
Right. So we basically got so there haven't been any injuries. There's some pretty horrifying, pictures of the phone after it's, charred or whatever. But basically what has to happen is the phone has to be plugged in. The processor has to be peaked. So it's basically playing video while plugged in, discharging while it's charging in that fast, rapid charge state. So the actual Samsung power brick, is plugged in, and then it basically combusts. It overheats, and then the battery goes, and the phone burns up.
Right.
So this is a symptom of packing more and more power into a smaller and smaller space. So this could happen to anybody. Exactly. What impressed me about the whole process from Samsung, and I think it was T-Mobile that I'd heard this from. T-Mobile kind of jumped on it before anybody else, and said, "Hey, we're pulling them from the shelves, and we're going to figure this out. You can return your phone indefinitely, basically, And I'm assuming that's if it doesn't have any physical damage or the look of it isn't damaged or anything like that. You can return your phone. So they're extending the normal 30-day return policy at most manufacturers and bringing it back, and Samsung's going to, figure out what they need to do to decrease the overall temperature. Probably what they're going to end up doing is, this has been a solution for other phone providers, is they're just going to say, hey, your phone's getting too hot.
Yeah.
Or just put a safeguard in there to reboot the device.
Right.
Which.
Yeah, and you mentioned, so let me go back to the T-Mobile thing. I mean, if all the other carriers, and these are just anecdotal accounts, I don't know for sure, but AT&T, Verizon, there were reports that people were told to went to the store, said, oh no, call Samsung. They weren't even allowed to bring it back. T-Mobile, you brought it back, they give you your loaner phone. Everyone now is doing that. Verizon, everyone, you bring your phone back, they'll give you a loaner, they'll do whatever they text. But in the beginning, there were customers that were saying, we call Samsung, we don't have nothing to do with this. We don't know what you're talking about. It's just two phones, so don't even come to us about that. So just
don't worry about it. Just pay your bill. Is your bill paid?
Is your bill paid?
Because if your bill's paid, then everything's gonna work out. Drink the Kool-Aid on your way out. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah.
So I do want to give praise to T-Mobile, and if you're a T-Mobile customer, you're lucky to have a great provider. But
there's a good topic of discussion that we could kind of. Who's your cell phone provider? Who are you using now?
AT&T.
AT&T, okay. Yeah, I'm with Metro PCS. So basically T-Mobile. T-Mobile's prepaid arm.
That's nice.
Which I was a Verizon guy for a while.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Oh. Great service.
Yeah. That's good.
Lots of towers. Huge bill. Huge painful bill.
You got to pay for all those towers.
Yeah. So
can you pay me now? Can you hear me?
Right. Can you pay me now? Yeah. Yeah.
So real quick, I don't mean to diverge, but the main reason why we're bringing back up the Samsung topic, I just thought about that, is that Samsung has officially announced a date when you can get a working Note 7 that won't explode. Is that right?
Very handy date to jot down. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the worst thing that could happen. But if you look at everything that's happening with phones, computers in general, we were talking before the show, the Xbox thing, the Xbox Red Ring of Death, was all heat, repetitive heat problems, and this has been happening with computers or mobile computers for decades.
Yeah.
So this is inevitable. It just so happens that phones are all of a sudden our go-to. These are our computers of I guess choice right now. You know, so this isn't going to be the last time that heat's an issue. It's not the first time that heat's an issue. It's not deadly. Nobody's injured. The phone is plugged in and is playing video and doing some very intensive, demanding things.
Right.
I don't think this is indicative of the fast charging technology that because it seems like Samsung's kind of worked the kinks out of that. I think this is just something that could happen, and it's so rare. Like Jeff said, 46 phones out of millions and billion or however many they've sold.
Yeah, I think they sold 2 million. 2 million.
Yeah. So you could easily have this accidentally in a normal product cycle. Right. It just so happens that Samsung is in the focus because they're the number one, I think they are the number one smartphone manufacturer now, either right behind Apple or right ahead of Apple, whatever the case may be. So yeah, you're going to have this. You're going to have this.
They flip-flop every now and then, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to have this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the big story coming out of Samsung, and then we had some other things in here.
Also, real quick, let me let everyone know. September 21st, they want to have all the new Notes in stock in the store shelves, not on that date, but by that date. And when you get a Samsung device, this is also a warning to everyone. If somebody sells you a device, whether it be a third-party manufacturer or a third-party carrier, the box has to have a special S, a blue S on the box. If it has that new blue S, then that will be one of the battery-fixed Notes 7s.
Okay.
So by September 21st. So look forward to that.
Yeah. So they'll have the new replacement, and this obviously the Note showers through multiple providers. So there's, this is the Note 7 is sold at basically every phone you can buy cell phones at.
Right, exactly.
So you're going to have, obviously there's going to be a lot of resyncing of inventory, whether your provider is like mine, Metro PCS, or it's Verizon, or it's AT&T, or it's T-Mobile, or it's Walmart, whatever their brand is. It's, there's a gap. There's a Note 7 sold on all those, all those front-facing companies, and right. This is a tremendous recall. I forget. I think somebody put a dollar amount on what the actual recall is going to cost, and it's insane.
It's insane. I think I've seen that. I don't know the number, but I've seen that as well.
Yeah, it's in the billions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another warning to everyone too. There's a fake IMEI list of phones that's going around that says these ones will explode. Do not believe that list. It is fake. It is made up. There's no list like that.
there's a list of the ones that will explode. Oh my God. Oh no, my phone's on the list. Oh, what am I going to do?
So yeah, exactly.
Quick, pack it in ice.
Yeah, put it. Hurry up.
Throw it in the fridge. I gotta make one more call.
But no, the real danger about that list is that it's not that my phone's on that list is going to explode. It's the opposite. My phone is not on that list, so obviously I don't have to take any precautions. This phone will not explode.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the danger about that list. So be careful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Anything to get some link bait in there, and I'm sure on that list there was, a bunch of ads running in tandem with whoever came up with that list. Yeah, ridiculous. So, what else do we got on our list? There was another article here that I saw that kind of interested me. Is the other article? I apologize. I'm loading up my Google Docs right now.
So Lenovo ran an ad. If you don't mind me to jump in real quick, I wanted to talk about this article. Lenovo ran an ad in the paper. It was really funny. It says, "Skip the 7s." Because the iPhone has the no headphone jack. The 7 Notes are blown up. So they ran an ad that said "Skip the sevens." It's really funny. No headphone. Just don't buy a 7. Buy a Lenovo. We have no 7s in none of our products. Don't buy.
Right.
Don't buy. But it's hilarious.
Right.
But keep in mind they don't mention anything about the headphone jack, because I bet you one day they will remove theirs, and they didn't mention anything about the battery, because I bet you one day their batteries will explode as well. So
right.
Right.
Absolutely.
So they say skip the 7s. A little headphone malfunction there for all the visual listeners. But anyway, yeah, so that's hilarious. I just thought that was funny. I'll put a link in there. I'll put a link in the YouTube video. So look at the show, the YouTube notes, and you'll see the skip the 7s ad. It's funny. But anyway, was there anything you find the article you wanted to talk about there?
Yeah, and I apologize. I'm having some computer lag. Skip the 7s ad. Okay, so we've got one thing that is a headphone jack going away, right?
Right.
And then we've got another thing, phone explodes. Both bad, arguably. Right?
Yeah,
arguably
definitely.
both. However, the reason why the headphone jack is going away, in my opinion, is a good thing.
Okay.
It's going away because it needs to go away. And the reason why it needs to go away is because we've got a digital device using an outdated analog output.
I don't
And
disagree.
Yeah, and people say, well, is it really necessary to do it now? Yeah, it's really necessary to do it now. It's time, and it's been time probably, and there is smarts being packed into the headphones as a result of the headphone jack dying that we've needed for a long time.
I think
And
that technology was actually invented and came out the exact size and everything. It was like 1890 or something like that. Like literally.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So,
but don't get me wrong. I'm still upset that it's leaving, right? I can still be an old fart and wish that it was there. I have so many devices, so many things that use this old technology, but I don't disagree that it needs to go away. Is it time now? Maybe it was time 20 years ago to go away, but do I want it to go away? No.
Right.
But
right.
That's
I mean, I'm plugged in on a standard headphone jack right now.
Right now.
I'm sure you are. But our microphones are probably not standard.
Right.
Maybe yours is USB, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is. So it's been kind of dying for a while, but Apple has a way of putting the really stoking the fire. When they want to change something, then it's done. The next product cycle, it's done. And Lenovo complaining about this is going to be a moot point in another year when they do it on all their devices.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's just,
and again, that's why they didn't say anything about the headphone jack. They just
Right.
said skip the 7s because they're going to do it too. Everybody's
Yeah.
gonna do it.
yeah, we're sick of that. Everybody's sick of the headphone jack at this point. All the manufacturers.
And in the last episode, if you guys watched last week's episode, I talked about how I created a Bluetooth connector for any phone. If you guys don't remember, I created a device that can plug a standard headphone jack in one end and a phone into the wirelessly to any phone. I have images and pictures of it. Jeff, I sent you some of those. I'll put links in the show note, in the YouTube video, and you guys can take a look at it as well and create your own.
Yeah, that's and that's something. Man, I saw that and I was just like, wow, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Because basically, what that is a Kickstarter waiting to happen.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, or somebody else will do it before we do.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, good idea. But we're going to keep that. We're not going to talk about that anymore now that I think about Kickstarter. So we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Pretend like that never happened. Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah. No
Okay.
guy behind the curtain. So,
Yeah, we got some cool stuff. Oh, Pokemon Go, the new bracelet thing that came out.
And so explain to me what that is. What?
Okay, so those who don't know, Pokemon released this thing called Pokemon Go Pro, which is a weird name, but it's a physical device. You can buy it at GameStop. and you wear it on your wrist. It's a little. It's like a. It reminds me of what is it? Nike smartwatch breakdown little thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a Fitbit or yeah,
exactly. But it tracks your data and your movements and things like that. And so how it works with the game, it pairs with your phone, and you don't have to. It's a cool device because you don't have to have your phone open and track your steps. If you play Pokemon Go, there's one feature that you can do is hatch an egg. But to hatch an egg, you have to have the phone open and count your steps. The more steps you have, the more it helps you hatch an egg. Well, a lot of people, back when it first came out, people were putting their phones on remote control cars and just driving around in circles so they can get the steps to count and all stuff like that. So the device, you don't have to have your phone open. So if you're riding a bike or stuff like that, you count your steps. That's awesome. If you walk past a Pokestop and you want to collect all the items at that particular stop, the device will vibrate, let you know, and you hit a button on the device and you'll collect those items. If there's in Pokemon around you and you want to catch it, you don't have to open the phone. You can push the button and it'll attempt to catch it. If it catches it, it'll vibrate. If it doesn't, then you can push it again and you can attempt to catch it may run away. For those who play the game, that's what happens. So I think the device is really, really cool, but I would never buy it. If I'm not into Pokemon Go as I used to be really into it with my daughters and stuff, but I don't play it anymore. But even if I did, I wouldn't buy the device now because it's too expensive.
right.
$29.99, I think, or $39.99. One of the two.
All profit. All profit. 100% profit.
Just eating that profit. Nom, nom,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you figure a 3-cent piece of rubber, and this is the same thing with the Fitbit, all the wearable bracelets and all that stuff. It's just like you just rake it in, rake in the dough, because once they have that thing manufactured, that is literally 4 cents.
Yeah,
that's 4 cents, and they can just, it doesn't have a display on it. It doesn't, it has a very limited battery. It has a very limited processor. It just does a couple of instructions, and they can just rake it in. But what I think that this is probably going to show us is how wearable computers are going to apply to other games going forward. How you're going to have that interactivity, and realistically, it may be a smartwatch tie-in or something like that. Whatever the end all be all may be, but it's cool that they're taking a game and integrating some hardware along with the mobile game. That's really outside of the box. That's really good. I didn't think about that, and I'm glad you brought that up, man. That is really innovative and awesome because I've always wanted that idea of a physical game on the phone that has a hardware component, even a controller. I know there's a lot of, even if you had a game and it has a controller, that'd be awesome. But a lot of people, they came out with stuff like that and nobody bought it. So I want the idea of something that you can use externally and that becomes popular as well. Yeah, yeah. And this is one thing that may. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Totally. So that's a big deal. I think more in that, not necessarily because Pokemon's a good game, and not necessarily because it's a great piece of hardware, but just the thought process behind it is cool. So Gmail goes down for a couple hours and it promotes panic.
So I missed this article during the week. I just found it when I was putting together the show notes. Gmail went down. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It sounds terrifying to me. And I'm envisioning, zombies walking the streets. What do I do without my email? So apparently, people were, so it's a very limited thing, very limited area. So Gmail went down.
The reason why I really put this in the notes, and this is a philosophical topic we can talk about, we rely so heavily on the cloud and somebody else to store our data. I would have to say 10 years ago, this revolution started to happen, and it's really prevalent 5 years ago. But before that, I used to run my own server. I had my own hard drive. I was in charge of my data. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? All my
mhm.
backups, everything was
Yep.
local, everything was mine. Nowadays, it's not like that anymore. Everybody relies on the
Mhm.
cloud. What are your thoughts about that? And what do you think about what happens if it goes away? You
Right.
know?
Right. The oh man, if I lost access to Gmail as a whole, I guess it depends on how many, because we were talking about how many Google services were impacted.
Right.
If I lost Google as a whole, um, that would probably mean that I would lose access to my contacts, access to my phone calls, access to my text messaging, access to my email, access to my basically every form of communication I got. So ouch, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Ouch.
yeah.
Um, and my phone calls are routed through Google Voice. My instant messaging is through Google Hangouts. The majority of it I do through
Yeah.
Hangouts. So that's painful,
Yeah.
and I can see where they're going. It's not necessarily just email. It's all the services that are
All those shit.
tied to email. It's the authentication that you use to get into other services. It's the the fact that you can't refill your prescription because you don't get the notification that your prescription's filled, and that's an issue. There's just
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, so yeah, that's kind of that's a big deal. And panic. I don't know if I would really
Oh,
panic,
panic, right, about Gmail being down.
but
But the overall big giant thing, forget about Gmail for a moment. I mean, just right now, the government walks into Google and says, shut it all down. Shut it. This is over. This is it. No more Google, period. But okay, Google search is still up. But any cloud services, all your Google Drive, Google, back anything, Windows backup service, all that stuff's down. You have no more access to your data. I doubt this will ever happen, but imagine,
yeah,
So
yeah.
just,
I mean, my I can't send out my resume.
yeah, you can, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
I can't. I can't.
You can't
Man,
get you can't get your money. PayPal. Somebody sends you money through PayPal.
right.
It's gone.
Gone.
You can't
Gone.
get it. So
Yeah, so there's Gmail going down, and I know that this would impact a business more than a person, but
yeah,
going down is an issue. That's a big issue. And I actually challenge anybody to, even for a couple of hours, shut off every digital device you have. It just doesn't,
wow.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And we're at the point now where it's like, if you're inaccessible even for a couple of hours, people start to worry about you and come over and start knocking on your door.
Right.
He hasn't replied to a text message or an email or this or that or the other thing in so long. Like, maybe he's not in there anymore. What's going on with him?
Something's going on.
Something's going on. So I can see where that panic would come from, and the more I think about it, the more I think, because when I first read this, I'm like, oh, panic, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too, exactly.
But as that onion, as the layers of that onion peel away, it's like,
Oh crap.
yeah, this could be ugly. So
Yeah.
That's
it. So let's do one more article. I have a hard out at 150. And you're actually getting a little crusty. We're learning, guys, so we're trying to get this podcasting thing down packed. I said this earlier to Jeff offline. By the 15th episode, we'll have this thing nailed.
right. There's gonna be, we're gonna be both flying in on drones. There's gonna, self-driving everything. I'll be self-driving, not only the cars, but I will.
Right. Yeah. I'll be self-driving.
right. So we'll have all the hard difficult stuff worked out. So
yeah,
for sure.
All right, yeah. So you guys, we're gonna have to call it a day here. I do have a hard out at 150. So, is there anything you want to mention, Jeff, or say anything to anybody, or say anything?
No, I think I'm pretty much good. This has kind of been a shorter episode this week. We had a little difficult time getting it off the ground, and then obviously we have real life stuff.
We have lives. We are humans. I'm not just a nerd sitting in my basement. Oh, wait a minute. This
not
is
your
my
basement.
basement.
No, it is.
I'll take it.
I'm not just a nerd sitting in my parents' basement.
Parents' basement. Exactly.
There it is. There it is.
This is my basement, damn it.
I'm a man. I'm a man, damn it.
I'm a man, damn
In
it.
the basement.
You are in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's funny.
All right. Well, listen, everybody, thanks for watching. We had a great time doing the show as usual. If you got a second, let me plug some of the things I'm working on. We're going to be, I'm doing a chat application. I need contributors to my open source project. If you go to GitHub and search Firebee Chat, it will be on there. I mentioned it last week. I'll put a link in the bottom of the description, and you guys can check it out.
Check it out. Awesome. I am Jeff. Facebook.com/Jeff Moses Jr. Pretty much Jeff Moses Jr. at almost anything. However, don't email me on Gmail because you won't.
You'll be able to contact me on Gmail. So
No, so
yeah.
I'm just not going to reply to emails. No, but it is Jeff Moses Jr. at gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it. Good show, man. Good show. We finally got it done. We pulled it together. Awesome.
You guys take it easy. Thanks for watching.
Take care.